I met Artie at college. It was love at first sight. He's gorgeous and funny, and we hit it off from the first time we met. He was my third serious boyfriend, the others being in high school, and I was his first. He is shy and introverted, and I'm loud and extroverted, but we worked. He balances me out. I brought him out of his shell. We got engaged 2 years ago while in Paris, and the last 2 years spent planning our wedding was fabulous. Artie and I rarely argued. We came from homes where both sets of parents screamed and fought. We were good communicators, or I thought we were. The only bone of contention in our lives was his mother. She wasn't happy he was getting married. She never liked me, even though I tried my hardest to get her to. Anyway, the wedding despite this went off without a hitch. His mom was actually very nice and actually hugged me. That was Saturday. Sunday his parents drove us to the airport and we set off for Hawaii. Sunday 2 nights were fantastic. Great lovemaking. We went swimming with dolphins, a truly magical honeymoon, until Tuesday night. We are getting ready to go out and I notice he looks like he's going to cry. He bursts out into tears and I've never seen him this way ever. Between sobs he tells me he can't do this. He's made a mistake. He feels like he is suffocating. Calmly, we talk things over, and he tells me he has felt this way the last 2 months, but he didn't want to hurt me. He says that he feels like he never got to experience dating, that he isn't sure I'm the one because if I was his mom would like me. I'm beside myself at this point in tears, and I had to get air, so I left to take a walk. He tells me he's sorry, then backtracks and says let's finish the honeymoon, maybe we can get counseling. So I go for my walk, and I'm sitting by the ocean, crying my eyes out. After 30 minutes, I come back to the room and his stuff is gone. He left his ring and the stack of cash from our wedding we took as spending money. I called his cell phone, no answer. I tried calling his parents' house, but no answer. Finally, I curl up and cry myself to sleep. The next morning, I got a long text message from him. He wants a divorce. I can keep our puppy. He will move out of the house we bought. He then said he wishes me good luck, but it's best if we do not communicate further. I go to the front desk and start bawling to the front desk lady. She is very helpful. She gets me out of the honeymoon suite and gets me a regular room until I decide what I'm going to do. I called my folks, and my mom already knew. His mom is bragging on Facebook that her son dodged a bullet. My sister, my best friend in the world, is headed here tomorrow and will be staying with me. I've decided to stay the rest of the trip, to get my head on straight to make some semblance of this. The man I loved with all my being ripped out my heart. I don't know where I go from here. Update: I've decided my soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law's name will be Christina, thanks to one of you beautiful people. If it's already taken, let me know. Update so far: my sister is here with me. We spent yesterday at the spa, had mimosas and cosmos at the beach, and we spent 2 hours trying on dresses and hats at some boutiques. Puppy is safe with my parents. She's chipped under my name and registered under my name. Not to mention my ex took very little care of her, so I don't think he will try to get her, hopefully. My dad, my lawyer, filed a motion for an annulment. In the state we live in, if a marriage is under a certain amount of time, you can have it annulled. He also is taking ex to small claims court. Honestly, it's not about the money in my dad's eyes. He is a wealthy man in his own right. It's the lies, deception, and just utter BS that went down. My parents loved my ex. They are hurting too. Last night while out with my sister at dinner, my phone rings. It's an unknown number. I don't answer and go back to enjoying my delicious dinner. We go back to our room. I notice I have several missed calls and several texts from this mystery number, calling me vile, nasty, and I'll admit it was so out there it was kind of funny. It sounded like the ramblings of someone who was enjoying a few adult beverages. I know it wasn't X, not his style, as much of an enormous douche canoe he is in my eyes. I knew it was Christina. A, she's a drinker. It's not unheard of her polishing off a bottle of wine at a family dinner. B, she used the same profane language in my presence. It wasn't aimed at me at the time. C, she slipped and called X her babby a few times. However, she made it out to be like someone else wrote it. Anyway, I've documented it, and I sent my dad photos of the messages. I'm planning on getting a restraining order against her and X, if necessary. I've blocked that number, and I'm continuing to have a terrific time. Background post. Before I delve into the disgusting and sordid story, please have a puke bucket and Pepto-Bismol on hand. So this happened after my ex and I graduated college. We found a great condo to rent, and both of us landed fantastic jobs. However, the condo was brand new and it wouldn't be ready for 3 more months. Christina and ex-father-in-law offered us their casita to live rent-free for those 3 months. Now, I was not excited to move in with a woman who up to then wasn't outright mean to me, but made passive-aggressive jabs from time to time. However, their place was close to both our places of employment at the time, and it was free. Well, during those 3 months, Christina made it clear how much she loved her baby and how inadequate I was at taking care of him. 2 months have passed. I'm in active countdown till the condo is ready for us to move in. We were both, ex and I, looking forward to moving into our place and having alone time. You see, every time ex and I were going to do any adult activities, Christina cockblock meter went off and she was knocking at our door, or a few times she walked right in. The day in question, ex was at work. I had gone shopping to the mall that morning and gotten a haul at Victoria's Secret as I needed some panties that would go with the skirts and suits I wore for my first big girl job. Hanes wasn't going to cut it. So I had the bags on the bed and my phone rang. It was my friend asking me if I wanted to go grab lunch. So I left to go meet her, and I noticed Christina out by the pool, not swimming, mind you, but staring at me with a smarmy little smirk. Thinking she was just being her nasty normal self, I left. I got back an hour later and there was no sign of her by the pool. I go into our place and I hear noises coming from the bedroom. I burst into thinking it's a serial murder or thief, but what I saw made me want to spew the Chipotle I had just consumed. In front of my mirror, Christina is wearing my brand new bra, and it's huge on her, as she's maybe a small B cup, has one of my thongs on and my garter, and is making kissy faces in the mirror. She sees me, screams, and has the audacity to tell me I nearly gave her a heart attack. I don't say a word. I back up and walk out. I get in my car and drive to Starbucks. I then call X and scream at him that A, his mom can keep whatever she tried on, and I want to be paid for it. B is getting us a hotel for the next few weeks until we can move. C, he better tell his mom she's seriously sucked in the head. And then he did it, and we lived happily ever after. No, we all know that isn't true. He did move us into a hotel, and mom-in-law did pay me back, and she gave some half-ass apology, but he never called her out, which I honestly should have seen the writing on the wall. I hope you didn't fill those puke buckets too full. I'm off to sip cocktails by the pool and flirt with the hot bartender. Toodles, and have a wonderful day. Update: so long Hawaii, hello undisclosed vacation location. My sister and I are bidding adieu to Hawaii today and moving to another location to finish out this sister's holiday. Why, you may ask? Well, Christina has lost what bit of her mind that still functioned. She luckily disclosed the following to a FM of mine. Her plan to fly to Hawaii with father-in-law because X wouldn't do it, stay in the same hotel as my sister and I, and teach those pusses, my sister and I, a lesson. So I reached out to my sister-in-law, whose father is the captain of our town's police force. Also my team of lawyers, my father, brothers. My sister and I decided to move locations, and we've decided, until I wash my hands of Christina, we are not broadcasting anything further on any social media. X tried to reach out and give me a sob story on how he told Christina not to do this, and he is so sorry, blah blah. I screenshot the message, then erased it. I hope Christina enjoys having 2 deputies waking her up and telling her off for being a crazy puss. Update bullet points for now. I was reunited with my Luna girl, who was beside herself with joy that mom was home. My awesome brother changed all the locks, installed security cameras, and had gotten all of X's crap. X tried contacting me several times to pitifully tell me how bad his life is and how Christina ruined his life. He also told me he was willing to go to therapy. I laughed and hung up on him. I heard from mutual friends he is living at Christina House, so yeah, Christina has been served with an order of protection and a restraining order after she threatened to come over and rearrange my face. Yeah, okay lady, in a VM that was of course recorded, father-in-law in a move that shocked me, as I thought the man was ball-less. filed for divorce, moved out, and is in the process of purchasing an apartment near his family in Canada. He has dual citizenship. Christina has gone completely unhinged. The youngest brother-in-law and his wife have moved in. They all hate me, and my brother-in-law stupidly ranted about me on Facebook, which was screen captured. Meanwhile, EX was let go from his job. He, in a stupid move, attempted to go to my boss to get a job. I heard she literally laughed in his face. He is talking about moving since I have sullied his reputation. His friends that remain, which aren't few, say he is talking about how he will eventually win me back. Sure you will, buddy. Meanwhile, annulment has been filled, should only be a matter of a few weeks. Meanwhile, I've decided that since I can work from anywhere, I'm going to travel abroad. A few weeks here and a few weeks there. Luna will be with my mom and dad, who spoil her rotten. Better yet, my nephew, who is 16 and graduated a year early, will be coming with me in the beginning for 2 weeks. Also, I've reconnected with an old friend. He was my high school sweetheart, and we lost touch in college. He's single, so who knows, if anything, it'll be good to reconnect. Update. Hi, my lovelies. Wow, it's been a minute, so I'll update y'all. Europe was freaking fantastic. I should say, it is fantastic. I'm currently living in Zurich. Yes, I said living. Let me back up a bit. I am now divorced, and the marriage was annulled. It was settled fast as X realized he was a major dumbass and contested nothing. In fact, the X who lost his job and was pretty much laughed out of town ended up moving to New York. Last I heard, he was dating some young co-ed and finding himself. Whatever the F that means. Christina is the talk of the town, and not in the good sense either. Her business has suffered, and last I heard she was thinking of moving. I bet back east so she can be by her baby. Good for her. I'm sure no one will miss her. She tried to write me this long, drunken, rambling apology letter, which I sent a copy to my father, then burnt the original. My folks are still in small claims with mother-in-law and father-in-law, but a decision is due to be coming very soon, and all signs are pointing to a big payout in my folks' favor. As for me, I was in Italy when I met a young Swiss banker. He has the bluest eyes and is a tall drink of water. He insisted I come back to the villa he was renting in Florence to meet his mother and sister. Y'all, I ran the freak away, but he said villa and wine and mentioned homemade schnitzel, and damn it if I have a weakness for fried pork and good wine. Oh my ghost, y'all. I think I love his mother and sister more than I've fallen for my beau. She's a just yes. And although I'm still learning everything there is to know about my beau, I told him if we break up, I keep his mom. We are taking things slow. I have my own little apartment in Zurich, but let's face it, I spend most of my days at his house. He told the story of my ex waltzing Jocasta and told me that if he ever sees an ex, he is going to knee him in the crotch. Swoon. My Luna is with my folks and doing very well. I miss her like crazy, and plans are in the making for me to fly back in September, grab my belongings, and take her back to Zurich with me. So that's a very happy ending to a crappy story. I'm happy, divorced, falling for a Eric Northman lookalike, where's all my True Blood fans, and blissfully waltzing Jocasta free. Update. Oh my sweet, sweet summer children, I so love you all, but I was hoping I could just lurk here and read y'all and never ever have to post in here ever again. When we last left off, I hadn't heard from Christina in a while, or her beloved son, my ex. I've been living the sweet, sweet life with my Swiss hunk of white chocolate. Well, until Monday, that is. See, I heard from my former brother-in-law and sister-in-law the week before, when they informed me that Christina sold the house from under father-in-law and quit her job and moved to New York to be with her beloved. She supposedly was going to move in with her baby and his girlfriend, who in her words, wouldn't last a week once Christina got a hold of her. Apparently, according to sister-in-law and brother-in-law flying monkeys, they are no contact with Christina. X couldn't wait for her to move to be with him. Well, crap hit the fan, folks, because mother-in-law shows up to New York and EX goes apeshit on her. Tells her she ruined his life. I was the best thing that ever happened to him, and she ruined it. No, buddy, you were just as complacent. He has to start all over again. His new job isn't as good as his old one. He barely has any friends. And oh, his girlfriend dumped him for someone else. He kicks her out of his place, so now mother-in-law is basically homeless in New York. Oh, it gets better. So father-in-law, after mother-in-law ran off with the money she basically stole from him, canceled every one of her cash credit. He also emptied out their joint account. So now mother-in-law only had her piddly checking account, which she barely keeps money in. So she had to stay in according to her roach-infested hovel. So how does this affect Moi? Well, supposedly Christina is convinced that if she finds me and gets me to get back with EX, he will forgive her and love her again. She will allow him to be with me because she will have her baby back. Thankfully, she has no idea where this Carmen Sandiego is, as only a handful of friends, close trusted friends, and my immediate family do. However, my love and I are scheduled to go back to America in September, and my parents' 40th wedding bash is being held while I'm home. She knows about it, and while she's not invited, I have a feeling she may show up. However, I have family that are in law enforcement. Better yet, my love says she'll have to go through him to get to me. I'm hoping my trip is a good one, and my mother-in-law remains stranded in New York forever. I get updates from brother-in-law and sister-in-law, so I'll be sure to update y'all as well. Kisses from Zurich update. Christina has a flying monkey. How does she have a flying monkey, you ask? Because she's blackmailing my 16-year-old niece. My oldest brother and his wife have 3 kids. My niece is the youngest. She's a good kid, but a year ago she got into a little trouble with the law. My brother's a lawyer, so it was thrown off the records. However, it involves my niece being caught with her boyfriend in a parking lot in a car, after curfew naked. Ex told mother-in-law, which I got angry at him at the time because seriously, double TF, how's that her business? Anyway, it was kept hush-hush as my niece attends a very posh Christian high school, and if certain individuals found out, she faces being cut from her cheer team and even expelled. Well, guess whose bestie is Dean of Students? If you guessed Christina, you'd be right. So Christina, being the manipulative piece of trash she is, blackmailed my 16-year-old niece into telling her not only my itinerary, but also where I'd be staying. Thankfully, my niece broke down last night, the night before I left, to tell me. We moved our hotels around. I also was able to reroute some of our flight. My niece tearfully told my sister-in-law, who is furious, that Christina blackmailed a 16-year-old ball. I assured my niece I'm not angry at her. She's still my favorite niece. Only niece. My brothers make boys, which her mom told me she smiled and rolled her eyes at F. My father is rightfully enraged as well, and will be making sure Christina does not cause havoc at niece's school when she discovers her FM is no longer. Update. Hello, my lovelies. I'm writing this from a hotel pool in an undisclosed location, with my hunk of Swiss white chocolate next to me in a lounge chair. Anyway, our trip started off great. We flew from Zurich to Las Vegas. We spent the night in Las Vegas because boyfriend was 15 last time he was in Vegas. Took in a show and got the best prime rib we've ever eaten. While in Las Vegas, I get a call from my mom. She's freaking out. EX called. He wanted to warn us. His mother got on a plane. She's insisting she's invited to our party. X says he tried to stop her. I call my mom down, and I call my sister-in-law, who, if y'all remember, is the daughter of a sheriff, as well as the sister of a deputy. Both are coming to the party and assure me they will be on Christina duty. Meanwhile, I tell my boyfriend this. He rolls his eyes at Christina's balls and tells me in his charmy accent not to worry if she somehow makes it past the sheriff and his son, he will take care of her. We fly into San Jose the next day, and my family falls in love with boyfriend. To quote my sister, if you don't marry this man eventually and have his gorgeous babies, I will disown you. Next night, it's the anniversary party. We are all getting glammed up at my parents' and the doorbell rings. My dad looks outside, and I know from his face it's Christina. My boyfriend has his tuxedo pants on, but no shirt as he is brushing his teeth and shaving. He sets the razor down with a gleam in his eye. He tells my dad to allow me and practically waltzes downstairs. My sister, mom, and I follow, but at a safe distance and hide behind the railing. Boyfriend opens the door. Hello and good evening. How may I help you? Christina, instant deer in headlights look, managed to get out. I'm here to see my daughter-in-law, Zoe. Boyfriend, she's not your daughter-in-law anymore. In fact, she never was she? His voice has taken on a hard edge. the one he reserves to tell me how bad I'm being, but I digress, just know it's hell of charm. Christina sputters. Why I knee? Who are you, young man? I demand to speak to Zoe or her parents at once. Boyfriend. Am the luckiest man in the world, actual, thanks to you and your spineless son, I met the love of my life. Anyway, we are busy, so bye. He literally slams the door in her face, y'all. Locks it, and like the charmy beast he is, flounces back upstairs. Ladies, I swooned, and if A, we weren't running late, and B, my family wasn't there, he would have gotten awarded several times over. Christina is still outside. My dad's laughing his ass off because she's just standing there in shock. It wore off after a few minutes, and we saw her get into an Uber. I'd like to say we went to the anniversary party, and Christina was never seen again, but I'd be lying. However, I want to break this up, as we are due to meet my folks for brunch. Update. Oh, for those who asked, niece was contacted one more time by Christina. Niece did not pick up, and Christina must have been drinking because girlfriend left a long, rambling message. That has been recorded, and my niece's father is safeguarding it as evidence if they decide to pursue legal avenues. So after Christina finally got a clue, we weren't going to entertain her crazy. She got into an Uber and left. We furiously finished dressing, and by then the limo we ordered had arrived. We all piled on and headed to the country club to celebrate my awesome parents. We pull up, and my sister greets us. I notice she's got fire in her eyes. When I get out, she pulls me to the side. Christina showed up a few minutes ago. I sent cousin and awesome brother-in-law to get rid of her, but that woman's like herpes. She is hard to get rid of. I decided then and there that I was going to enjoy myself and that no one was ruining my parents' party, especially Christina. So I walked into that ballroom with my man on my arm, head held high. The first hour showed no sign of Christina. We ate a freaking awesome buffet, had the best cupcakes, and the music had just started and folks were getting on the dance floor. My boyfriend was doing the electric slide with my 90-year-old grandmother, and my mom and I ran off to try and snag my sister for the photo booth when someone literally yanks me by the hand. I think it's one of my nieces, or maybe my nephew, but when I look up, it's Christina, and she is not happy. I yank my hand out of her claws and ask her what the hell she thinks she's doing. Suddenly, there's like a million people converging on us. My sister-in-law's father, the sheriff, his son, the deputy, my sister, brother-in-law, nephews, all putting themselves between Christina and me. I decided that I needed to know why Christina was here. Why is she so obsessed with me? She and my ex got rid of me. I followed the sheriff and deputy as they escorted her out of the building with my sister by my side. Christina was blubbering that ex still loved me and it wasn't too late for us to get back together. I'm not proud of this. I'm not, but I let it all out. I told her what I think of her, what I think of her son, and I might have gone into graphic detail about my boyfriend and parts of his anatomy. My sister's jaw fell to the ground, the deputy's face went red, and the sheriff had a crap-eating grin on his face as he shoved Christina in the back of his car. Then my sister and I went back to the party. I was given a shot of something by my cousin and went straight on to the dance floor to dance with my handsome Swiss man. Christina was given two options, being dropped off at the airport or being dropped off at the Greyhound station. She was also told that if she did not leave town, she would spend the rest of the weekend in jail. She chose the airport, and the sheriff personally escorted her to the gate after she purchased her ticket. Supposedly, she called her sister, who bought the ticket, to make sure she would get on the flight. He then waited with her an hour, even though she was none too happy. Her sister lives outside Las Vegas, so if any of you live in that area, I'm so very sorry. My ex called my mom again the next day, and I answered. I brushed off his so sorries and his, it was my mom's idea. He did say he tried talking sense into her, but he thinks she's lost it. Really, you think? He actually had the gall to ask me if I thought we could start over. I laughed and told him to have a nice life. And then I blocked him on my mom's phone because, bless her, she can't figure out her iPhone to save her life. I'm not sure if this is the last of Christina, I hope it is. But this is just no after all. And if I learned anything from reading y'all, is that you never underestimate a just no mill, especially when she is crazy. Update. I've also discovered that birth control is not 100% effective. I mean, if I heard that, but I always figured I'm careful. So, yes, yours truly is preggers. I suspected it now for the last few weeks because between 4 a.m. till around noon, the smell of coffee brewing or eggs cooking or anything really strong smelling like my mother's potpourri makes me feel like I did the day I caught Christina trying on my panties. Check my post history. In other words, I feel like I want to upchuck. I actually haven't yet, but according to my sister, I probably will. We bought every pregnancy test known to man, and myself, sister and boyfriend, took up residency in my mom's guest bathroom for an hour taking them, all clearly positive. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say it's 6 to 8 weeks along, but I won't know for sure until I see my doctor on WED. I'm super excited. So is boyfriend. That man loves kids and he's going to make the best dad. Ugh, my hormones are all over the place. We haven't told my mom or dad as they are on their second honeymoon in Bali, so just my sister and my honey know. I'm super paranoid to tell anyone for 2 reasons. A, miscarriage, and B, Christina finding out. Obviously, I can't hide this forever, but I now have this fear. Christina will try and claim my unborn child or something. I have read this sub and seen that play out before. My sister and boyfriend assure me things will be okay, but I just have this unsettling feeling deep in my gut. Because Christina is well, she hasn't given up her craziness. So my parents got an Amazon package the other day. My sister opens it up and it's vibrator. The gift receipt said, "Happy anniversary. Hope this comes in handy." We laugh thinking, okay, gag gift from someone thinking it's one of my brothers or older nephews. My brothers deny it, nephew does too. We are trying to figure out who sent it. We are all eating dinner, and sis looks at me and says, "Wait, what if Christina sent it? Gag. Who sends their ex-in-laws that?" Then I remember I know Christina Amazon Prime info because X was such a mommy's boy and had to use her account instead of getting his own. I log on because of course Christina is dumb enough not to change her PW, and wouldn't you know she ordered it. Oh, she also ordered herself quite the stash of adult toys. We threw it out because no one wants to use a vibrator. Christina bought update. Was informed Christina is currently in the Las Vegas detention center. Supposedly, she got into an altercation with her sister. Brother-in-law intervened, and Christina tried to stab him with scissors. I don't know the whole story, but I won't lie, karma is a puss. In other news, the father-in-law and her are divorced. Father-in-law moved to be close to brother-in-law and his wife, and is enjoying his grandkids. My Swiss boy is now my hubby. We got hitched before coming back to Switzerland, and we're planning on moving back to the States soon.